Our guest is a man that you hear all the time on network TV promos and narration, movie trailers like The Campaign and The Rum Diary, and countless affiliate stations around the country. He is the voice of Flint on the original G.I. Joe animated series. He is an engaging storyteller, an award-winning storyteller, and a public speaker. We are so excited to cap off an amazing first year of VO Buzz Weekly with the charming and talented Bill Ratner.
Bill Ratner.
I'm a real audio guy. I just slapped the microphone.
He just slapped the microphone.
But it's probably...
well, he's used to microphones being right around here, right?
They're not usually fixed.
Welcome to VO Buzz Weekly.
Thank you.
Great to have you on the show.
But I slapped it gently, so it'll be kind of like a
a
little
poof.
A little poof.
Yeah.
Or like a heartbeat.
Yeah, like a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Kind of like
welcome.
Thank you.
So, you know what? I got. First of all, I want to jump in real quick and just say that I know that you're super busy. Everybody knows that Bill's
very late
busy.
here right
What time is it?
It's late.
Oh.
It's late. I mean, his family's calling him saying, "Where are you?" You know. So thank you so much for coming down, spending some time with us. We really appreciate it. They really appreciate it. And so we're glad you're here, man.
I'm glad I'm here too.
Cool. I'm going to start off by asking you a question that I've never asked anybody on the show before. You're the first guy. Tell us how your voiceover career got started.
I was 5 years old, and no, actually, it's true. I was a lucky kid. My dad was an advertising guy. He was a good guy, and would bring me to Campbell Methune ad agency, which was gigantic: hams, beer, Betty Crocker, blah blah blah. And so I met announcers. This is a radio announcer, and he does this, and this is the orchestra, and they do this for the commercials, and so on.
Right.
And so I had. I think the advertising business is really fit for 5- and 6-year-old mentality anyway. And so I sort of understood a little bit about the business. And then I was watching Axel Anderson. We'll be right back with some more silly cartoons after this. And a voice came on, and this is the 50s. So the announcing was a little stranger. The protocols were different. And he goes, "This commercial message will be 60 seconds long." And I went 60 seconds. I think I stopped breathing, and I counted, and Oldsmobile for 1953 rolling across the screen with a happy family of 4 waving out the window. And then it was over, and I ran into the kitchen and said, Mom, I know what a minute is." And she said, "Did you learn that in kindergarten, honey?" And no, the man on TV. So I was fully conscious of this guy who was invisible with this beautiful stentorian voice. Who sort of marked time for us. And from that time on, I think announcers had more to say in the 50s on television. The Philco Radio Hour is brought to you by, and they would go on and on and on. Live, standing somewhere in a booth. So these were real pros, literally wearing tuxedos. Yeah. The CBS network announcers in New York, Chicago, and LA, per their contract, had to wear tuxedos into the 60s. Wow. When people were showing up in flip-flops and Bermudas, for the network shows that were filmed here. But that's to answer your question. And then in 6th grade...
moving from 5 years old to 6th grade now.
There was a kind of a hiatus there. That happens in careers.
He took a long nap, and now he's back.
It was a slow time.
My friends John Waterhouse, Skipper Hastings, Steve Gray, and Bill Connors, who, I'm sorry, Bill, we later blackballed for inactivity, formed the Brotherhood of Radio Stations.
Nice. Is that still going strong today?
I did have lunch with Steve Gray about 6 years ago, and we reminisced. Yeah,
I love it.
I am the embodiment of the Brotherhood of Radio Stations. But I literally bought a 5-watt AM transmitter from Night Kit Corporation in Chicago. And my dad and I were going to put it together, and it was going to be Dad and Sunday, and he's going, Dad, relax, just let me have the soldering gun. And I got this thing together, and my cousin gave me a 1/4-inch tape recorder and a Shure microphone, and I built a switch box out of a shoebox, which happens to be made of cardboard and paper, and it's quite flammable. But
boy,
I think
you only did that once.
Only burned one, and then my dad got me a piece of linoleum and some pine.
Nice.
So we would broadcast. I mean, we would torture the neighbors, and I had
that is so funny.
Yeah.
Where would you just find your material?
We would make
What
it up.
inspired
I
you
mean,
guys?
we would do phony phone calls that were just horrible, cruel things to neighbors about dead bodies being on their roofs, and that medical procedure that you've been asking about. We have to do it this Saturday, and things like that.
Wow, that's crazy, man.
And we made up games. I mean, it was just pure imitation. It was like it was exactly the way television is made today.
Sure.
By imitation of what's preceded it.
Right.
So that's what we did.
So when was the break when you went from
Childhood to adulthood?
playing around to like saying, you know what, I'm going to do this to make money?
Yeah.
Hasn't happened yet.
Oh,
Yeah, right.
When was it? I did some acting as a kid in Minnesota theater, which was fun, and went to film school at City College of San Francisco to study filmmaking, because I'd always wanted to study filmmaking. I didn't want to be a director. I just wanted to study film. I loved film. And I had a teacher, I was about 27, a guy who had written Bonanza and Harlem Detective, the great Larry Menken, an old writer who retired and decided to teach kids in film school. You're going to narrate the class film. And I went, oh, okay. And started getting hired by these adjunct teachers who were industrial filmmakers and educational filmmakers. And had one guy say, the only direction I'm going to give you is, I want you to speak so that the little green light that's in front of you, there was no green light, it was in his head, doesn't get too bright and doesn't dim out. And I've never forgotten that direction. I still don't know exactly what it means.
But you're doing it.
But, I remembered it. Yeah. And then I got an agent up there. Nothing really happened. Got into radio, suburban AM radio. Well, this is KKISS 99, which was fun. And then came down here and started taking voiceover classes from a genius like you named Johnny Rabbit.
Johnny Rabbit?
And who had been a big Dick Clark radio guy and took classes, and I actually got the advice to do so. I had no idea there was such a thing as a voiceover class. Because luckily for us, voiceovers are really not taught in college. I asked a young woman who just graduated from Northwestern University in Evanston, Illinois, arguably one of the greatest communication schools for performers, for journalists in the country. Did you just study voiceovers? She'd BFA in acting? I think we had like a week of it in a commercial acting class. And I went, yes, don't start teaching it in college. But Ralph Pizzella in the sales department of KKISS 99 said, hey, dude, when you get down there, you should study voiceovers. And I said, what are voiceovers? He said, you know that CVS commercial you just did 55 tags for?
Yeah.
You're getting $165 a week. The guy who did that commercial made $285. $2.85? And I went, oh. And he gave me a name. Johnny Rabbit.
Right.
And so I went to study with him.
Go see Johnny Rabbit.
I didn't stop workshops for 6 years.
Wow.
I mean, I'm sure that you guys get calls all the time saying, well, I took the course for 6 weeks. What do I do now?
Yeah, now I'm ready to do a demo and get a home studio.
Right.
And,
No, it doesn't quite happen that fast.
So I did literally like undergraduate and graduate school, like 6 years. I just didn't stop until my agent at the time, Rita Venari, said, Stop. You're working.
Yeah.
The people who you're working for are your directors. Stop.
Enough with the classes.
Oh, okay. It was just so fun.
Yeah.
That's so great.
Yeah. The truth is, I got my first agent by taking a voiceover workshop. And, I mean, I never knew that I was OCD before. I've never been really diagnosed because I don't want to take
How did you discover this?
Still a secret.
In voiceovers.
Were you cleaning the booth, or what were you doing?
Yeah, over and over. No, my house is filthy. My studio is filthy.
Nice.
I mean, this is like, the Ritz.
Yeah.
But I really started enjoying like editing, and I would just be obsessive about my demo. I would do a 15-minute spot, and I would just completely redo the whole demo.
Yeah.
And but in taking workshops over and over and over, I met producers who are still friends of mine, who still hire me. My first agent, bless her soul, the great Donna Davies. at the Buckeye Agency. I mean, so that's one thing that's missing from sort of the arsenal of VOIQ for people starting out in voiceover is, what do I do? What do I do? Study. I mean, I was taking acting classes here long ago, and Ted Danson, who was already on Cheers, was in the class, and I asked the director, I said, why is he here? He likes to work out. He thinks it's good for him.
Yeah.
And, 30 years later, the man's still working. He's a wonderful actor.
Yeah, it's a safe place to try things.
Got to keep the chops up, man.
Yeah.
Well, kind of on that note, was there a turning point for you where you went from auditioning a lot to working a lot? Can you put your finger on something that shifted for you?